What's up, y'all? It's your boy King Darius here, King Darius Direct Podcast, where we get directly to the point. And today's subject, today's topic, we're gonna talk about. What I'm gonna talk about with y'all today is on these young boys and they crashing out. It's been too hectic. It's been too long. This is a conversation just well overdue. Excuse my phone. Let me see something, huh? Got somebody calling me. It's my homeboy. I'm gonna let y'all hear y'all. Hey, what up, man? What's up? What's up with your Q? Welcome to King Darius Direct Podcast, where we get directly to the point. What's up with you, bro?
Ain't much to it, man. Ain't much to it. Trying to take care of these clothes today.
All right, man. But today's topic, man, is gonna be about crashing out, man. I got a verse I'm gonna read to y'all. For those who don't know me, my name is Darius Rogers, and yes, I am a professing Christian man. I am a role model. I'm a husband. I'm a friend. I'm a father. I have a number of occupations that I do. At this time, I'm a fireman. I'm in the military. I do a number of things. I'm also a male activist, if it so to say, in short words and short terms. But man, I'm gonna introduce my guest in a minute. But right now, the dynasty, my empire. You know, we got to do this intro. Let's get it.
Hey, bro, how you get a demo beat?
Alright. That's enough of that. But anyway, man, I got a guest. This is my best friend. Been my best friend for years. Known me ever since, way back in the Gangsta Gap. Known me for, just my accountability partner, my brother in Christ, my true friend. Held it dearly, man. Just introduce yourself to the people, bro.
Yo, what's up, everybody? My name is Q, or Quentin, whichever tickles your fancy. I'm a lazy fat bastard. That's what I am.
I like that.
You know, we talking about accountability, all right? We got to hold ourselves accountable,
Hey,
all right?
you know what? I likes that.
Stop the cap.
Man, I likes
Yes,
that,
sir.
bro. I likes that. But yeah. So, man, today's topic on crashing out. I got a verse I want to get into, bro. A couple verses. It's just two. Even if you ain't a Christian, man, the things that I'm gonna talk about is gonna help you. The principles that I stand on, excuse me, are not just for principles for Christian men. This is principles for every man. I speak to the everyday man. I speak to the Christian. I speak to the non-Christian, the atheist, the poor man, the rich man, the excuse me, y'all. Something's tickling my allergies, I guess. But the man that's working for a living, the middle class man, the high value man, the Henrys, the Chads, Pookies, the Ray Rays. I got it for all y'all. This is for everybody. But just so it all can make sense, so it all can have clarity, foundation, and order, I want to read two verses. Two verses. I'm gonna be reading from Matthew chapter 7. And it's only a few verses, 24 through 27. It says, "Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not. For it was founded upon a rock. And every one that heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them not, shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. The rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell. And great was the fall of it. I got another verse I want to read. It's going to be Luke chapter 6, verse 46 through 49. I promise, for you guys who are not Christian, who are probably atheists, just stick with me. Just don't turn the station. I'm not finna give y'all a sermon or nothing like that. But just pause for a second and listen to what I got to say. I'm about to read the Bible, verse 46 out of Luke chapter 6. And why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? Whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like. He is like a man which built an house and digged deep and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock. But he that heareth and doeth not is like a man without a foundation built, a house upon the earth, against which the stream did beat vehemently. I'm just struggling with these words right now. And immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great. Now, I read these two verses, and y'all probably be thinking, how am I going to tie this into today's topic? Because today's topic I really want to talk to about is why these young men out here crashing out, and just why is that's not a good thing, and what does that look like as a man when you're living like that as a man, as a young man? What that really looks like, and just really some advice on how you really should walk upright as a man. So, crashing out. All right, those who are living under rock or just white, neon white, or some kind of version of that, and you like, man, what is he talking about crashing out? What I mean by crashing out is it's the same as it being on site. You know, when somebody say, hey, man, when I see you, it's on site, that's pretty much it. But you living on that with everything. Like that is, when you crashing out, it's like at any moment you're looking for the reason to be on site with anybody or anything. Whether it be jumping on somebody, to shooting up neighborhoods, to robbing somebody, whatever the case may be, you just crashing out. You finding that reason to do so. And these young men have adopted this attitude and this mindset that the cool thing, like I remember growing up listening to rap music and all of that kind of stuff, and we kind of, you know, you listen to some a Lil Wayne mixtape, your chest start poking out a little bit more, and you start walking a little upright a little bit more, but you really like on some, oh, I'm really hard now, what kind of stuff. But really, at the end of the day, we kind of found clarity when we go out into the world and you realize Lil Wayne might be living like that, but I ain't living like that. I ain't crashing out like that. And as you get older, you realize even that mindset there was stupid, because at any point in time, somebody would have said something or do something while I'm in one of these modes of feeling hard or whatever. Then guess what? I would have been ready to crash out. And that just shows like a lack of guidance, a lack of teaching, a lack of foundation to stand on. And that brings me to my first point here is what I want to talk to y'all about is the mound that you stand on. What is your mound that you're going to stand on? Because everybody has a mound that they stand on. Every man has a mound that he stands on that he's going to say, hey, man, this is total disrespect, non-tolerance. And the problem with these young men that's out here today, the problem with them is that their mound is so low. Their mound is so low and it's so in the way of everybody's normal everyday life that you could do anything to be non-tolerant for them until they're going to crash out. You can do anything, and it's just a reason to crash out, right? It's a reason to go ham. It's a reason to do all these things, right? But it's not. It shouldn't be. And that reason, but when your mound is really low, and what happens is that mound is, like I said earlier, is your stance on what you will not tolerate on a disrespectful or respectful level. But when it's very, very low to the ground, and these primitive-minded young men or these primitive-minded men today, with these low mounds they standing on, they're not only standing on low mounds, but they're standing on low mounds that's in the way, the walkway of everybody else. You're in the walkway of everybody else. And you created this low mound there. And they think they've built something when they haven't built a thing yet. Haven't built anything yet. But they try to go around and act like they built something when it's so low. So what happens when you have a low mound and you built it in the walkway of everybody else, you become an irritant, you become a nuisance, and you become a person that is a menace to society. Because everybody's trying to now everybody's trying to walk around you because you're trying to compensate for your low mound of respect, your low mound that you stand on and say, hey, this is my no nonsense tolerance mound. I'm going to build it right here in the way of everybody else. I'm going to build it there. That's where I'm going to build it at. I'm going to build it in the way of everybody else. And when I build it in the way of everybody else, nobody better not kick over my mound, step on my mound. And the problem is with that is not only that you're just in the way. Where you're standing on doesn't make any sense. It's weak. But the problem with that also is that everybody looks like a threat to you. Everybody looks like a threat. Somebody walking towards you is a threat. Somebody passing by is a threat. Anybody disagreeing with you is a threat because that's how low your mound is. So your mound is so low, you can't hold conversations with people who don't think like you. If you don't think like, I can't hang around you, I can't talk to you. Because you don't think exactly like me. Because you're weak. You weak. You ain't put in the work enough as a man to where you can expand your brain to get around people who don't think like you, listen to what they got to say, and still disagree, but still go out and work within that environment. You can't. So now people that's walking towards you, you're pushing them. Somebody could be walking towards you to help you. You're shoving them out the way. You're threatening them. Versus a man who has a high mound. See, that man on that low mound is like the man who built his house on the sand. He built his house on the sand. And when calamity comes, when the rain beats vehemently against your home, against your job, wherever it happened. When tragedy hits, when things don't quite go their way, when somebody disrespects you, which is easy to do because you don't have much respect already and your mound is low, which you're standing on, so that's easy to do, easy to be disrespected. And when people try to help you, you're gonna be destructive. When people try to come your way to try to give you advice, you're gonna be destructive. People disagree with you, you're gonna be destructive. You have no thing, you don't even have accountability to stand on that's productive in society, and you becoming just an irritant to everybody. But let's talk about that man who has a high mound. Let's talk about that man whose mound is on a hill, or on a whose mound is high, and he's standing on it. This is my no nonsense level here. This is my level of disrespect. If you get to this level, then guess what? I'm gonna snap out. That's when my danger side is gonna come out. That man is a man built for success. That man is a man that's meant whose his mound isn't built in the walkway of everybody else. He has it set to the side in a lot somewhere. It's built up. It has order. You can see it from the street that he's standing on a firm foundation. So what happens is with that man is he can see you coming. When you're trying to come to disrespect him, he sees you coming. He sees the disrespect coming a long way. So guess what? He doesn't have to be reactive like the low mound man, like the man who built his house on the sand. He doesn't have to be reactive and be destructive like him, because everything in his world is going to fall apart anyway. He don't build anything. He could be proactive. I see the disrespect coming a long way. You know what? I set this up already. Well, you can't even touch me. You can't even cross me. I'm going to set this up where you can't even cross me now. Because he's a smart man. He's a logical man. He's a godly man. He's a man with integrity. He's a man who means what he say and says what he mean, and he leaves it at that. Let his yeses be yeses and his noes be noes. That makes him a dangerous man. See, I know people hear that and they go, man, dangerous. Oh, you don't want to be dangerous. You do want to have a element of danger about you as a man. It's important that you do have that. You need that. You need that to fend off intruders. You need that to work. You need that to that brutality side of you. You use it every day to get things done. You get things done with it. You use it to be productive. But the other man, it's a one-way ticket. It's a one-trick pony. All it is fighting, cussing, shooting, tearing the neighborhood down, beating on women, just robbing. Anything that's not going to build a society or a neighborhood up, is just he's going to be about it. But that man with that high mound, he can see you coming. And the thing about it is, when he sees you coming and he gets proactive, he can stop you before you even get to his level. And then if you do get to that level of disrespecting him, of course, his dangerous side is going to come out, because you hit his no nonsense, no tolerance level of disrespect, or whatever the case may be. And guess what? Society is going to agree with him, because you're going to literally have to climb a mountain almost to get to his level, to disrespect him, to get to his non-tolerance line, to cross that line. And when he deals with you, there's nothing you could do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. You could try to cry. You could try to you can even try to call the police. Everybody, every witness here around, everybody's gonna say, "Nah, this dude, he's the one in the wrong." What kind of man do you want to be? Every man needs to look themselves in the mirror and think to himself, what kind of man do I want to be? You want to be the man that's going to be destructive. That low mound man who's going to destroy his family, who's going to destroy his self, who's going to destroy his career, he's going to destroy neighborhoods and towns and cities. Or you could be the man who built his house on a firm foundation, who got your mound is set high, where you can see people coming along with the disrespect way before they even get there. You already can plan ahead. You get proactive about doing that. You still got an element of danger to you, but you know when to use your element of danger. You use your element of danger in such a way that everybody can't do nothing but respect it. Or you could be a primitive-minded, crash out boy who's out here just gonna be crashing out looking for a reason to. Either way it go, man, we gotta stop this crashing out stuff. Time is like time is of the essence. We gotta stop this. It's getting to the point where it's sad, it's sickening. It's to the point where I'm literally, y'all, I'm almost at the point of like giving up on just young men. Only reason why I can't, because it's just really not in me to do so. Because young men are the future of your country. Young men are the future of your neighborhoods, and whatever the kind of young men you have right now, what kind of men that you got right now, is gonna make the young men for tomorrow. And we got to do better, guys. We got to do way better. Q, man, are you there, man? What are your thoughts on this? Crashing out, bro.
Man, bro. Hey, I like what you were saying, man. I wanted you to get it all out so I could comment on it, man. I wanted to circle back to the beginning, man, when you were talking about Lil Wayne, and some thoughts came across my mind. You know, when we're talking about crashing out, when I was reading in Luke, the end of it says for me in the NIV that its destruction was complete. And so, like, when I think about that, man, you know, like, there's people that are living on this sand and or got this small mound, and everybody tripping over it, and so they just crashing out like crazy. You know, when scripture talks about how, you know, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, but you're living by this anger, and that same anger kills you. You know, there's a lot of rappers that got killed because of this. Stop the cat. And so, like, I sit there and I was thinking about Lil Wayne, man, and, you know, we know Wayne, he had a son, somebody the greatest rapper alive, and, you know, I mean, we could go through all of his songs, right? Like, he got some out there stuff, man. He got some stuff that just show you where his mentality was as a younger man. You know, he's been doing this game for years.
Yeah.
And then you see the contrast. Now, I'm not gonna sit there and say, like, you know, like, I don't know what his relationship with God is, you know, but I will say that I can look at him now as the type of man that he's become because he's got a better understanding, right? And I'll look towards an interview that he did, and I'm sure everybody has seen this interview where they're talking about the top 5 greatest rappers, and he's like, you know, him ain't on there, Eminem ain't on there. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he was probably thinking in his mind, like, man, I ain't on there? What you mean, top 5? Like, man, I've been doing this and then put out more hits than most of these people that you putting on this list. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure these things went through his mind, you know, but instead of like him taking it and going with his first mind, you know, when they spoke about Gucci, you know, I'm sure, like, if he was still on this mindset of crashing out, if he was still on that young man mind of crashing out, he's like, Gucci Mane? What you mean, Gucci Mane? Man, like, Right, Eminem way better than him. I'm way better than him. So and so way better than him. And then guess what happens from that? Because his amount was so low that somebody just talking about who other people chose to be the top 5 pissed him off.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But instead, what did he do? He say, hey, my nigga Gucci. Hey, he did his thing. Like, I got nothing to say about that. Because he got a better understanding that this ain't even a mound that I need to trip over. This don't even matter. At the end of the day, I know what my accomplishments are. I know what I'm doing. And I think one of the biggest issues is, man, a lot of people that are not trying to build anything, that are not, like, they got daydreams. They got these daydreams that they talking about. They got all these falsities that they putting out. Like, they got money and they doing this and they doing that. But the reality is that they are not building anything, which we're called to do in Scripture. And so because they're not building anything, they have to feel like a man. And how I'm going to feel like a man is, you're not going to disrespect me.
Right.
You better not say nothing my way. You better not look my way. You better not curse around me. You better not say the wrong words around me. You better not talk about the wrong subject around me. I'm going to crash out on you. Right? And so I look at this foundation, man, like, you know, and I speak from my personal life, man. Like, I can see the contrast in my own life when I was built on sand and when I was built on a solid foundation. And the thing about a solid foundation is it don't always stay solid. Sometimes you get some cracks in there. Sometimes people come with a sledgehammer and they say something, and maybe it didn't affect you that time, but they hit that sledgehammer across that foundation, and it made a little crack. And you didn't try to repair that crack. You just let that crack stay there. Then somebody else came with another sledgehammer and hit another crack, and then hit another crack, and before you know it, then you got a big gaping hole in your foundation, and then the rest of it just comes tumbling down. Now, you thinking that you're sitting up here still with this strong foundation, but really you chilling on sand, right next to them. You know, and I think the most important thing, man, just from my own personal life, man, is continuously filling in those cracks. There will always be cracks. There's not going to be a time that you just going to you just going to arrive. All right, there's never going to be that time where you're not going to have to continuously put in work. As men, we always have to put in the work. And I'm speaking to myself here because, like, there was a time where I just stopped putting in the work. Like, I got that big head about myself. Like, you know, I'm strong in my foundation now, you know, and I stopped adding into it. I stopped pouring a little more cement in there to make sure it was sturdy, make sure it was strong, make sure that the cracks were filled up. You know, going around and doing some repairs. I stopped doing it. And then before you know it, I just started crashing out over every little thing. Over stuff that I used to not crash out about. You know? And I think that's one of the biggest issues, man. And like, bro, I can't recall anybody that was in the game decades ago, any of these rappers that were in the game decades ago, that are still the same as who they were, because they started getting some knowledge and they started getting the understanding. And you know, my mindset on it is you need God in that in order to do that. You know, maybe somebody can figure it out without him, but most of us definitely can't. I really don't think any of us can, but I don't know them personally throughout their lives to say, oh, they did that themselves, you know what I'm saying, yada. But I genuinely don't think that without God could truly have that strong foundation.
Yeah,
now,
I don't think so either, man. I think that's a component of being a man. A component of being a man, you're gonna have to have God. It's gonna be spiritual, and if you suffer spiritually, as a man, when you suffer spiritually, you fall and succumb to every single just temptation or folly that comes your way. It won't happen immediately that you fall to everything, but what happens is it's that first one, then that second one. Now the ball's rolling. Now that the ball's rolling, now you're gonna fall to everything. Now you're falling to anything. Now if it's a little tug in the opposite direction of where you're supposed to be going, you're going that way. And without a doubt, you'll be as light as a feather.
Now I'll say there might be somebody on here right now that's like, man, I don't really follow no God. I don't build all that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know godly principles and all this and that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I don't crash out on no people. I don't do this and that. And I'd say to you that the fact that, because I can almost guarantee you that if you're not building your relationship with God and you're not building this foundation, I can guarantee you that you are the type of person that when somebody says something that should get you to a point to where you defend yourself, you don't do it. Right? It's about, when we're talking about crashing out, all right, it's great that you don't crash out. But at some point, you have to be able to defend yourself, right? You're just as useless to a woman, to children, to anyone around you.
When you lose that element of danger, you lose it.
When you lose that element, that makes people fear who you are as a man. All right, now I'm not saying, and again, we're talking about crashing out. I'm not saying, when I'm talking about fear, I'm not talking about, oh, you said this, so I'm going to do this and that. But genuinely, your family does not feel protected around you. Your family does not feel protected around you. You don't feel protected around you. That's why you're so scared to say anything to anybody.
Cowardly.
That's why you're so scared to speak up. So when it comes down to this, all right, there's a balance, right? There's a balance that you have to have. I'm not saying get to the point to where you're crashing out about everything, because that's destructive. And even when you speak to people, right? When someone has done something that deserves a rebuttal from you, I'm not saying you're cussing them out or you're doing this or that, right? But you have to be man enough to speak up. You have to be man enough to say, hold on, I'm not going to allow that, right? And this could be in many different things. I mean, it could be the fact that you have somebody that you may not want in your home, but because you're too scared to say, hey, this is not going to work. You can't be inside of my house. You're too scared to say you need to get out, or you're too scared to say, no, you can't. And so you allow yourself and you allow your family into a bad situation because you are not man enough. Because you are not enough of a warrior that you have been called to be to speak out. Right? And like I said, it's a balancing act. It's definitely a balancing act, because some people go too far and some people don't do enough.
Yeah.
But when you don't have the spirit in you, when you don't have your relationship with God, because I know people, I know atheists. I've had conversations with them, and they say, man, I don't bother anybody, all this and that. Like, I don't like confrontation and all this. And these are men, right? Like, I won't sit there and say that I like confrontation. But when there's a need for me to have confrontation for the protection of my family, that's my job. That's what I've been called to do.
Facts.
And that's what you've been called to do, young man. Whoever you are. And I think that there's just a misconstruing because we've made men more feminine. We've made men more feminine. And because we've made men more feminine, my wife is like that. My wife, and she's not supposed to like confrontation because she's a woman. She's not supposed to be the one that gets into the confrontation because she's a woman. That's my job as her husband. And if you can't confront someone that has gone completely over your mouth, and I'm not talking about the small man, I'm talking about you built your mound up here and they've gone completely over it, you now look weak to your spouse. You know why? Because you are weak. You're being weak. And you have to be strong. We as men have to be strong. I know that unfortunately here in the United States, everything is against men being strong. I've heard women all the time, I just want a man that just was in touch with my feelings and all this and that, and all this nonsense. My wife used to be one of those women, and I'm not one of those men. I'll just be straight up honest with you. I'm not one of those types of men.
Mm-hmm.
And then my wife was around one of those types of men, and it was so surprising to me because she came to me and she said, I don't want a man like that. When she realized the contrast, she realized that
it was a turnoff.
What she grew up believing.
It was a turnoff.
What she grew up believing that she wanted from a man.
It was a turnoff.
She genuinely did not want it. Because if a woman wants a man to be feminine, then what she really wants is a woman.
Mm-hmm.
The same way if a man wants a woman who is masculine, what he really wants is a man.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Facts.
That's just the reality. All right?
Facts.
No woman who loves men wants a man who is, he's so in touch with his feelings. He does every single thing for me. He comes in when I come into the house. He's got the food ready for me. He's got the house clean. He's up there rubbing my feet and doing all this and that. What you got is you a lapdog. What you got is you a servant, and not the type of servant he's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Man,
and the thing is that those women that get those men, they divorce those men.
They do. And you know something, just tying it all back in, man. I watched this segment on this woman named Ebony Williams, and bruh, the crazy part is, she said something that struck me, and I was just like, what? And it didn't make any sense. But she said that black women are so empowered that, or women, she didn't say black women, she said women, but she was addressing women as well. But she said they're so empowered that we won't get into any situation that doesn't best serve us and serve our best intentions. And I had to turn it off. I turned it off. I was like, I turned it off so quick, man, because I was just like, it almost made my ears bleed. Because I'm like, what do you mean serve you and serve your best intentions? What do you mean? What are you talking about? But it's the kind of low-mounded men, primitive-brained men that these women go for and say that we want, and really they don't want them. Really, they just want somebody that can control. See, when a man mound is so low, even what we were talking about earlier, when it's so low like that, they're going to overcompensate somewhere else. They're going to overcompensate, and now they're fighting everybody. I got to fight everybody because I got to make myself feel like a man. I got to do all these criminal activities that make me feel like a man, right? But even in relationships, because your lack of just getting up and being a real man, being a real genuine man who goes out here, brings value, that has amount of no nonsense and disrespect. He gets proactive in his life. He does not let people get to that point. When he does, he means what he says what it means. He still has an element of danger to him. Instead of you being productive and bringing a value, using your brutality to bring a value to this world, like working with your hands or something like that, you overcompensate even in your relationship to a woman. Now she got the man up. You see these little wimpy guys. You see it all the time, the relationship dynamic. He's super passive. She's super masculine.
And then she puts him into a position where now he's got to fight somebody.
Yeah, you become her German Shepherd. You're a German Shepherd now because you got a brain of a German Shepherd. It's, hey, get here, sit, bark, speak, roll over, attack. You're just a German Shepherd. And you the German Shepherd that she knows. Go ahead.
The craziest thing about this, man, is with dogs, guess what? You can have multiples.
Exactly.
You can get as many dogs as you want.
Because one dog, you got one dog over here is gonna protect. Then the other dog over here, he's gonna do some work. It's a working breed. This one is a show breed. Yeah, you get as many dogs you want.
And this the craziest part, bruh. Like when you really think about it. All right, let's say I got a dog. I can have a full grown dog, and I can go get a puppy. Now, when that puppy first comes in, that dog gonna have an issue with that puppy, right?
Yep.
But then guess what? They gonna both get over it. Why? Because they love this person so much. They can't think of, I don't know, you coming into my territory and I don't like that and I'm not gonna allow you in my territory. No, it's like I love this woman so much or I love this person so much that I'm gonna allow you in here. And see, this is when women start having teams, right? When they start having all these different dogs on their team, all these different German Shepherds on their team, that in the beginning, when they first find out about each other, they want to bark at each other. But guess what? They'll never do nothing because she told them to sit. And guess what they do? They sit. And they just get along. Because they love this woman so much. Because they love this woman so much. You're just a German Shepherd. When I see men that allow their women to go on social media and disrespect them, my wife already knows. All right, I love her to death, and I believe that she should be able to have her own individuality and all that type of stuff. But the minute you start going on social media disrespecting me, that's over with. I won't allow that. The same way you ain't gonna catch no pictures of me up there. You ain't gonna catch me up there like, hey yo, I got OnlyFans over here. You know what I'm saying? Hey, all y'all hoes out here, come on and come see some dick. You know, send me some messages or whatever. Like, it ain't gonna happen because it's a level of disrespect to my wife, right? It'll never happen for me. I don't give a crap how much money you want to pay me. The money is not as important to me as the respect towards my wife, right? And if she loses that amount of respect for me, then I don't need you here. It's about having that understanding, having that love for yourself, right? As a man, understanding that you ain't nobody's guard dog. You are a leader. You're not the guard dog. You are the leader.
That's right.
We've gotten into this whole thing where, oh, it's my body. No, it's not your body once you get married. Scripture says that your flesh becomes his and his flesh becomes yours. See, that means it's no longer your body.
And this is the thing, bro. And this is where you know you got a lot of weak men out here. This is when you know you got a lot of masculine women out here. Is when this whole new idea of partnership, like even people that weren't in the church, that didn't go to church, they would always reference each other as husband, wife, things like that nature. This partner word, like, it's a brand new term to describe a relationship, a serious romantic relationship. Partner? No. It's even sounds masculine. Your
this
partner.
My best friend. This is my best friend. I hate that thing where they go, oh, my wife is my best friend. You downgraded your wife.
Yeah. How could she be your best friend? She's your wife. Like, you can have fun with your wife. This is the thing. The idea is, let me diminish myself as much as I can as a man, as the leader. See, if I assert myself as this is my wife and I am her husband, I accept it. What's going to happen is I just subconsciously accepted the roles which God has made for mankind in relationships. I accepted that role. And what happens is, now that the roles are set subconsciously, now I also asserted myself as the leader. So if I can diminish myself as a leader, she can get along with me. I won't bother her. Because if I bother her, then she'll get mad at me. And if she get mad at me, then she's going to disrupt everything in the house. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. These niggas who go around here, I said niggas. So if you Christian, you don't like me saying nigga, well, oh well. But these niggas are going around here and allow their woman to act up in their homes. To act up in their homes now. Because they upset. She gonna act up. She gonna be disruptive. She gonna be an irritant when you got company coming over now. She gonna be disrespectful and all this other stuff. You are a weak man, a spineless man. And whatever she do to you, you deserve it. You deserve it because you sat there and said, I'm gonna allow, but I never allowed my wife to ever disrespect me like that. And it's not even a thing. She don't even possess that in her. She is when she get upset about something, to deliberately go about. And I'm not saying my wife is perfect at this, right? She's not. She hasn't been perfect at this, but 99% of the time, she's not gonna be an irritant. She's not gonna be a disruptor. Not in my house. 9 times, my wife would be pissed off, mad at me, and go run my bath water. Fold my clothes. Get my clothes ready for work tomorrow. Hang them up. She gonna be the same way. But this thing, you got these spineless men who don't demand, like, it's no demand on the way you get treated or anything. They just so spineless. Oh, don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Just weak.
You know, I want to make sure that I get people to understand that considering your wife your best friend is a downgrade, right? This is why I say this. All right, Darius is my best friend, right? We've been friends for years. I mean, longer. We've been friends longer than we have not been friends, right? Mm-hmm. And let's say Darius hit me up one day. He's like, "Hey, bro, man, I got these dudes out here doing this and that, you know, yada yada, bro. I might need you down here." See, I'm at a point now. I ain't doing all that no more, man. That hoorah stage to me is over and done with. And I just be sitting there like, bro, I'm sure sorry that happened to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you know, like, and this is my best friend. Now, at the end of the day, if something gonna happen to his family or something like that, of course, like, I mean, I'm gonna back up my dog, but, you know, I'm gonna do my best to keep the situation from getting out of control. And whereas before, you know, I used to be like, yo, hey, let's go and handle whatever it is. You know, but at this point in my life, man, like, if he hit me up for something like that, or even if he hit me up, it's like, bro, man, I gotta pay my rent, and I ain't got it. You know, it's gonna put me into a difficult position for my family. Like, I'm gonna be like, bro, I just can't help you, right? That's my best friend. Like, I just can't help you, right? Because I can't at that point in time. Mm-hmm. My wife, on the other hand, if she hit me up and she say this person is coming at me like this, they come out, they about to do this to me and do that to me, before she even get the full thing out of her mouth, I'm in the car speeding towards her direction to make sure she's safe. Yeah, you feeling me? You feeling me? Like, bruh, that's the contrast between best friend and wife. And while we on the subject, when we talking about friends, being friends with our children, right? Being friends with our children is not okay. Mm-mm. We are the fathers. We are not their friends. Now there are things like with my wife. Me and my wife, we have inside jokes. We joke around. We laugh. You know what I'm saying? Bruh, we laugh. You know what I'm saying? We got inside jokes. We send each other, you know what I'm saying, different TikToks or whatever that we think are funny. You know, we laugh and joke about things.
And it's the thing. And all of that. People think People think that, I don't mean to cut you off, but people think that because it's your wife, you can't have fun unless you call her your friend. No, yeah. You still my wife. We just can't have fun.
Yeah, that's my wife. We just enjoy each other's company. If you don't enjoy their company, why are they your wife?
Hey, but it's this magic thing, bro. But no, it's this magic thing. When you say friend, then it becomes fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I refuse to downgrade my wife. I refuse to downgrade my wife. Because you know what downgrading your wife does? When you take her from this pedestal, guess what? It gives the opportunity for somebody else to get on that pedestal. I refuse to downgrade my wife like that. My wife is my wife. She is not my best friend. We have way more than me and my best friend ever will have, because she is my wife. And simultaneously with my son, he is my son. He is not my friend. Me and him laugh and joke. He's 5 years old. He's funny as crap. I mean, he is a funny little 5-year-old. Like, he got my sense of humor, and I'm thankful for that, because my wife's sense of humor is not that great. But look, my son is awesome. Love him to death. But I will never get to a point where I put him at a level of friend. You know why? Because you don't discipline your friends. Right? You don't try to raise your friends up in this way or that way. Now, you may try to persuade them this way or the other, but see, when I am the
hold
leader,
them accountable.
I am the teacher. Yeah, you might hold them accountable, but at the end of the day, whatever they do is outside of your house, so it don't matter. It ain't affecting your life, right? Not only that, but you ain't paying for their college. You ain't got to feed them every day. Well, I don't know. Some of y'all might have some bum friends that you got to feed every day that don't want to get out there and do that. At that point in time, I say cut them off from friends. All right, if they just ain't getting out there and doing nothing, I mean, but that's a whole nother thing. We ain't gonna get into that. Right? I ain't gonna get into that. But with your son, he is your son. Do not downgrade him from where he's at, from where God has placed him. Same thing with your daughter. She is your daughter. Do not downgrade her from where God has placed her. Stop putting things that are not supposed to be on friend level. And stop trying to elevate your friends above their level. My friend should not be placed above my wife. See, when you downgrade your wife to your friend, then you have room to place your friend above your wife, because now they just on even platform now. Stop doing it. Stop allowing people to tell you that that's what you need to do, because it's not. It's set up the way it's supposed to be. The man, then the wife, then the children, then your I guess you could say your other family, the family that you still consider family, because I know we got family we don't consider family, and then your friends, and then everybody else. But when you knock your wife all the way down below your children, or wife, when you knock your husband all the way down below your children, and then you wonder why y'all got problems, because you're always taking the child side, because you are not elevating your wife or your husband to the position where they're supposed to be, or you put them below your family, then you wonder why your marriage is all effed up.
Flawless victory.
I couldn't have said it better myself, bro. Like, when it comes to relationship dynamics between men and women, all right, between a man and a woman, the only way you can make it work that we see, like, there might be some outliers out there, but I'm not talking about no outliers. I'm talking about the majority. We need the majority, right? The majority time, the foolproof plan is the man being the head of the house, the woman being submissive to her husband, rearing the children, the father is a disciplinarian, and instill with love, right? I'll put that in there just for you ladies, because I know y'all gonna be the disciplinarian, but you're doing it out of love. You're not doing it out of some kind of provoking.
We ain't talking about beating everybody. All right?
Yeah,
make sure we put that out there.
Yeah, you're doing it for love.
If your man is beating you, if your man is beating your children, and I ain't talking about he pop them on the butt. I ain't talking about he instill some type of discipline. I'm talking about this man taking his fist and beating that child. Yeah, you need to go and get him locked up.
Yeah,
we don't agree with that. We don't agree with that.
Nah, not at all. And just as much as I don't agree with the woman lying or about abuse, I don't agree with the dude that's actually out there doing it.
No.
Like, so neither one of them gets my vote, neither one of them gets my side, neither one gets my voice, neither one gets my support. But I say that to say this. Men of today have this problem with trying to diminish themselves. Like when you say friend, when you say, oh, excuse me, when you say she's my friend, oh, she's my friend, right? When you say that, you literally just took your position as a leader and pulled it down. So not only did you pull her down, you pulled yourself down. That's why she automatically comes down when you call her your friend and not your wife, or you call him your friend and not your husband, because you pull them down. And because a queen can't marry a peasant. It ain't gonna happen. It never happened ever. Now a king can marry a peasant and make her a queen. But as soon as he not a king no more, she not no queen no more. You ain't it when the king gone, the king is gone. The kingdom is done. Just like chess. Kill a king, kingdom over. Game over. So you quickly in that moment diminish yourself, you diminish her. But you let the feminists tell you, you let them tell it, somehow trying to be equal, and you're never going to be equal. There is no equal balance to, well, there's a balance to it, but it's not a equal balance. What I mean is, it's never going to be 9 on this side and 9 on this side. Yep. It's never going to be that. It's never going to be 10 and 10. If the total is 100, I don't give a dang if he only doing 51. The man got to carry most of the load. You just got to. And if you're not carrying most of the load, men out there, I'm talking to you. You're not carrying most of the load. You need to be thinking of a plan to get your wife out of that situation so you can carry most of the load. That's the difference of real men, though. Real men ain't gonna sit on his hands. Real men gonna get the job done. There's a job need to get done. Okay, I'm gonna do it then. He's not gonna be like, well, I don't want it. Oh well, we good. And like, bro, when I hear dudes saying that, like they wife paying most of the bills and they saying they good in this situation, bro, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I got to the point now where, man, if you sit there, we got all these conventions out there for men, right? Let me stop lying. We have an outlet for men to seek help and to get help, whether dealing with in relationship dynamics, money, all these things, right? And it's free. It's called YouTube. And guys know about this material. Guys know about the manosphere. Guys know about the red pill. Guys know about it. But guys who are just vehemently, that's the word of the day, vehemently beating against and going against the red pill, going against that because it caused them to be more. It caused them to be more than what they actually trying to be right now. It caused them to exert more energy into being a man. They push so much against that. I don't feel bad for you, bro. I don't feel bad for you when you get finessed out of your pension. I don't feel bad for you, bro. Like, I want to feel bad for you, but instead of paying attention, taking the advice, moving as a man, you move as a beta male. You move as this spineless guy. And you go and you thinking, oh, everything's gonna pan out. No, you got a low mound, son. And she's looking at the guy on the high mound, and she's like, I'm going after him. And whether she gets him or not, with more times not, she's not gonna get him, but she's still gonna leave you.
Yeah. You know, and I want to say something, and then I gotta go grab these clothes real quick, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes. But right. Man, so when you're talking about that, man, like, you know, these men that are so stuck in this beta male mindset, you know, it kind of flows into this discussion that we're talking about, this foundation. Like, this world already understands what you raise a child up in, they will not depart from, right? That's scripture, all right? The foundation that we have been built on. And that's why it's so hard to get away from it. That's why so many men are stuck in there and can't get away from it. I mean, I was stuck in there. Can't get away from it. You know, because of the foundation. Like, we were put in all these movies, man, like all these movies that we were shown where this dude that ain't got no job, and it's bad that the dad didn't like the dude because he wasn't really doing nothing for himself, but the girl loved him, and all of that, and he got this girl, and guess what? That started making men think, oh well, if I don't really do nothing, that's what women want. Oh, if I'm this dude that ain't building nothing, if I'm this dude that just caters to her every need, that's what a woman wants, right? These are the things that got put into our minds instead of understanding that this ain't really what women want, right? Mm-hmm. Even women think that that's what they want until they actually get a man. When they get a real man, they realize, hold on, I don't want that. Like, this ain't what I wanted.
Yep.
I don't want that type of man.
Got that man thinking, as long as she love me, she should just love me for who I am.
Exactly.
Nah. Put in some work, dog.
That's the thing.
You gotta be a better man, bro.
If you get out here and you start building, it's gonna cause issues in your relationship. I'm gonna be honest with you. All right? Because there's gonna be less time to spend with your wife. There's gonna be less time to spend. All right? And unfortunately, with westernized women, they love when you're just sitting around and you ain't got nothing to do. But when you start trying to build yourself, unfortunately, they are stuck in this foundation as well. Like, when they really, really are able to get out of that mindset, they are able to understand what they really genuinely want. But because of the foundation that we have been putting in the West, when you start trying to build and you start having to take all these extra hours to try to build it, your wife is not gonna like it. All right? I'm just telling you, she's not going to like it. Understand that, accept that as something that you're gonna have to deal with as a man. It's just gonna happen.
And I would go so far as to say,
what else is going to happen.
I would go so far as to say that women, with girls, they love you for you, but when they grow up and become women, they want to see some value.
Yeah,
the hypergamy kicks in. But what we're seeing now is the hypergamy for women kicking in even later. Like, you got women the hypergamy is supposed to be kicked in at 18 years old, but now women's hypergamy is kicking in at 30, 40.
Hey, I'm gonna let you hold it for a second, boss. Keep going. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. But women's hypergamy kicking in at 30 and 40, that's too late. 30 years old, you almost became useless to a man in a relationship because he wants children. You can't bear his children. So what are you there for? Sex? I don't need you to become a liability for me just to have sex with you. I can get sex without the liability of having to take care of you. And you not give me in return what I want out of a relationship. Women in hypergamy is kicking in at 40 years old. Finally, a bulb cut on in your head to stop messing with Pookie and Ray Ray. Stop having sex with Tyrone and getting your mind right. And you need to be with Melvin or whatever. Henry, you need to get with Henry because Henry been working for umpteen years since he was 16. Here y'all are 30, 33, and you wonder why Henry ain't going for you. You wonder why Henry still want to talk. Henry up here talking to a 23-year-old. Why should he go for you? Why should he marry you? You got more baggage. You got more bodies. You got more trauma. Because no matter what, women go through trauma in a relationship way harsher than what men do. Way harsher. It's the way that y'all go through trauma is y'all do not become better women. Women become worser women when they go through trauma in relationships. Way worse. Like, y'all not good people after a bad relationship. Y'all become worse people. And that's what he got to deal with. That's what he got to accept. You get children by other men. You sit there. You ignore your hypergamous behavior or your instincts. You ignore your hypergamous instinct when it kicks on at 18 because you want to love him, but you ain't really loving him. You kick it off. You have a bunch of sex from 18 all the way to 28. You have a bunch of sex. 29. Then it comes on to 30. 29, 30. You hitting that wall. Now you want to get serious. But you're only getting serious because you're about to hit that wall and the curtain's about to fall on you. And by this time, you think it's because of your education or because you got this degree or you got this career that men are not talking to you because of these things. When a guy has never really cared about those things in the first place, you're just not as feminine. That feminine girl is gone. You're brass. You're not brass, but you're crass. You're very crass. You're gritty. You're nasty. You're masculine. No man wants a masculine woman. No man wants a real man does not want another man. A real man wants a feminine woman. And you're not that anymore. And you're just losing now. Now you put yourself in a position to lose. The only guys you got to choose from now is those low mound beta males. That's all you got now. Low mound beta males. Because you had somebody else's children from all the sex you've been having. You're having somebody else's children. Now you come and you bring children with you. And now that you bring somebody's children with you, you don't qualify for that type of man no more. You don't. You don't like me saying it, do you? But I'm telling you, you don't qualify. The moment you have children by another man, whatever he was doing to have put his dick in you, to come in you, for you to carry his child 9 months, whatever he was doing, that's your ceiling. You don't find a man better than that. If he was a trash man, you ain't gonna find a man better than a trash man. Whatever's equal to that trash man. If he making $40,000 a year, that's your ceiling.
I'm back, brother. I just heard what you was talking about, man, and like I said, I think that just really goes back to that foundation. All these movies have women believing that, oh, there's that man out there that's gonna come scoop me up, even though I got 4 kids, my 4 different baby daddies. There's a man out there that's gonna be my Prince Charming. Nah.
Oh, she gonna get a man, but he ain't gonna be Prince Charming. You remember Prince Charming in Shrek? You remember Prince Charming? Like that, like the dude literally could get any chick. He can get any chick. So when he lost Fiona, he was just like, when he realized he wasn't gonna have Fiona, he was like, well, all right. The other chicks jumped on him. He was like, yeah, come on. Cause he don't need no Fiona. You don't need a Fiona. You know what they gonna get? They gonna get that. I say the same thing. This is what happens. See, when women hit that wall and start to realize that the curtain is falling on them, what happens is when they hit that wall, the guy either falls in all of these categories or some of these categories. And the categories are fat, stinky, dusty, broke, dirty.
Boy, that was all of Shrek, wasn't it?
That was all Shrek. See, when we look at Shrek, we think Shrek the hero. No, Shrek is just the dude that you go for when you're hitting the wall.
And that literally, that's another thing that just
We get
again, it's these
like
movies.
in the
We gotta
movies
really
to say
watch what we-
the movies will be like, look, and I'm gonna let you get it off after this, bro. But the movies to say make it like, oh, Fiona didn't like him because he was cocky and confident, and other women wanted him. Oh, all these other women on him. Oh, I don't like that. Bro, there's not a woman alive who wants the dude that nobody wants. There's guys that she walks straight past that's like I told you, they either fit all of these categories or enough of them. Fat, stinky, broke, dusty, dirty. He fit in those categories, right? They walk right past those dudes. They don't exist to them. They right there. And then guess what? That guy he ain't got no women all over him. But you don't like that. You want the guy with the women that all over him. All over him. And that's just the modern day Western woman. But they always gonna wind up with the Shreks. But go ahead, bro.
So I'm sitting there and I'm just thinking as you're talking about this. So, you know, she got together with Shrek and liked him more than Prince Charming and all this man, right? And the reality, if you really look at it, right, like I was sitting there thinking about it. So when Shrek first came and he saved Princess Fiona, right, from the tower, right? She didn't like Shrek, right? But guess what happened? All right, she ended up liking him, but let's see how she ended up liking him. So he forced her to go with him, took her as his prisoner, right, to take him to Prince Charming.
Lord Farquaad.
After being stuck with this man, Lord Farquaad. So after being stuck with this man, right, for X amount of time, she started to develop feelings for him. What's that called? Stockholm Syndrome. She started to fall in love with her captor.
Dang, I never thought about that movie like that.
She started to fall in love with her captor.
Dang, I never thought about that movie like that. That's crazy. That's crazy. My daughter's never watching Shrek.
Like, bruh, I'll tell you, there's so many things in these movies that we don't pay attention to. We watched them and they were funny. But this is the thing. When you put stuff like that into your mind, that starts becoming your foundation. Shrek was the type of dude that no woman wanted because he was an ogre. He was that fat, smelly, stanky dude that ain't had nothing. He had an old rundown swamp with an old rundown shack. He didn't have nothing, bruh. And so no woman wanted him. The only way he got a woman was he rescued her, a damsel in distress, and then he took her prisoner. And then she fell in love with him. You could be like, oh, well, there was this and that, and they just started feeling like this and that. Why do you think she started feeling like that? Right? Like, after you're alone with a captive for so long, Stockholm Syndrome, you start to develop feelings.
That's crazy,
like,
man.
Stop believing in these fairy tales. These fairy tales do not exist. That's why they're called fairy tales.
That's crazy, man. I never thought about it like that. Wow.
Women, y'all have to understand your pureness, your virtue. Your pureness is your strength.
Yep. That femininity.
That's your strength. I know we have all these people telling you, oh, I'm going to throw it back on him. I got that wop. You know, all this bull to make you think that this is what you need to do. This is what makes you a good woman. If you can do this, if you can do that, but you can't cook, you can't clean, but I can do all this and that. I can do this in the bedroom. and they start making you think that this is what you need to do as a woman. But then you do all that, and then you're single with 4 kids. And the only time a man come around you is when he's trying to get some. And you wonder why that is? Because you're believing in fairy tales, and you're allowing people to tell you that this is what you're supposed to be as a woman, instead of going and asking God what you're supposed to be as a woman. And men, you're sitting up here thinking that I'm not going to build anything, I'm not going to do anything, because these movies, these fairy tales tell me that there's going to be a woman that's going to come out here after my nasty, stanky behind that ain't got nothing going for me. I can't even hold a freaking $7.25 an hour job because I want to smoke weed all day. And there's going to be this amazing woman that's going to come after me. You have no value. Build value. That's the greatest part, men, is that we can still build value. And see, this is the most detrimental thing for women. It's because once you give it away, you can't take it back.
Ooh.
If you want to talk about unfairness, right? Women, you can't go back on it. Men, we can always wake up and be men. But women, this is extremely important for y'all. You cannot go back. Do not give up your purity for somebody who's not worth it. For a man who is not building. For a Shrek. Purity for a Shrek.
You know, when I think about that, the way that it's going, you know, the only way it'll reverse, because we in the time right now, we living in the time right now where women are looking at average men and saying you're not enough, and saying you're crap, you're worthless, and when they're average women.
Yep.
When back in the day, average men got with average women, they got married, they had children, they had a house, they had 2 cars, and they lived a life. They live a comfortable life. They didn't live a lavish lifestyle, but they live a comfortable life. But now women are saying you're not enough. But then on top of that, women of today are going to great lengths to not cooperate with men. So they're going to great lengths to not cooperate with men, where they are going to the sperm bank to have a baby. But they just aborted 3 babies back in the gap because they say, I don't want to be a single mother. I don't want to be a single mother. I don't want to be a single mother. Right? But now they go to the sperm bank and get a baby. Because if I go to the sperm bank and get a baby from the sperm bank and have a baby that way, then I don't have to cooperate with a man. I don't have to do that now.
I mean,
they're going
right.
so far.
They don't have to. They don't have to.
No, they don't. They don't have to. But the thing about it is, it's ingrained in them to have complete happiness. What makes a woman happy is having a husband that loves them and protects and provides for them and children.
Yeah.
It is a clinical thing. Every clinical psychologist out there, every therapist tell you, man, yeah, these women, they ain't got no husbands, or they divorcing their husbands and they not happy, and they coming to see me, and I'm making a ton of money off of this. A ton. But but men are dealing with women who are just going to the extreme to not cooperate. I would even go so far as saying the black women are doing the extreme to not cooperate with black men. Because men haven't changed throughout the decades. Men haven't changed. Men, and this is the thing. Men still are playing the game as if it's original Uno, and women are over here playing Uno stack. And you trying to come together and playing two separate games, and women know they're playing two separate games, and they know you only gonna do Uno original rules. I'm gonna play Uno stack, and it's an unfair game for you, but it's fun for me because I get to win.
Yeah.
Now the game gets boring over time, so then y'all gotta go play a new game, right? But you're never playing by the same rules. But this is what happens. Men are starting to catch up and starting to realize I can't win this Uno game playing original Uno while you playing Uno stack. So I'm gonna start playing Uno stack with you. First, you didn't respect me. You didn't want to respect me. You didn't want to cooperate with me. And you didn't because you were playing Uno stack and I was playing regular Uno, so you could throw down anything and just continue to go and go, and you'll win the game. And you knew I had no chance of winning this game. Now men are starting to wake up. Now men are playing Uno stack, and women hate it because it forces women to cooperate.
Yep. And now they're throwing hissy fits and tantrums because we're playing the game and we're starting to win.
Now it's forcing them to cooperate because now
sore losers.
I'm not gonna give you my kids out of wedlock. Yep. Now I'm not gonna marry you and give you the chance to tear my life in half. I'm not gonna give it to you. I'm gonna take my power back. I'm gonna take my authority back. But if you want to throw that junk around, you want to throw it around? Okay, I come tap it a couple times. Let's be real. We know what's going down.
Yeah.
But that's who you gonna be. That's who you gonna be. The beta male's always gonna be there. The beta male's gonna always be there for you. The guy that's gonna, like I said, in those categories, fat, stinky, dusty, dirty, broke. Either one or all or some kind of mixture of those categories. Those guys gonna always be there. And guess what? That's what's happening. They're getting with those guys. They telling those guys. This is the thing. They make rules for those guys. You gotta wait till I'm married. You gotta put a ring on it. You gotta take me on 30 dates. You have to take me on. You gotta put me in this certain mood. You gotta catch me on the right day. The stars gotta align. The cards. When I gotta sage that day. I gotta play my cards right. You gotta be the right zodiac sign. But for some reason, the guy that they really want, he ain't gotta be the right zodiac sign. They don't really care. He ain't gotta. The stars ain't gotta align. None of that. They have a genuine burning desire for him. Mm-hmm. And since they have a genuine burning desire for him, they ready to break all the rules for this guy.
Yeah.
But you fat, stinky, broke, dusty, dirty guys, she gonna make every rule in the book for you, and she gonna say, you gotta follow by this or I'm gonna cut you off. I ain't breaking no rules for you. You ain't worth me breaking no rules for. That's what she doing to you. And then she gonna rip your life apart. She said 3 to 7 years in, she gonna rip your life apart.
You know, women, like, genuinely, if y'all want to get a husband, y'all can easily get a husband. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna be real with you. You can easily get a husband. Mm-hmm. Right? It don't matter who you are. It don't matter what you look like. It don't matter what your size is. It don't matter about none of that. You're right. There's somebody out there that's gonna love you. Right? Somebody out there that's gonna want you. right? But it ain't gonna be no man. Now he gonna be male, but he ain't gonna be no man. A man wants a woman, and if you ain't being a woman, ain't no man gonna want you. If you out here being a hoe, ain't no man gonna want you. Now he might tap you, he might hit it a little time or two, but he ain't putting no ring on that.
And just to clarify, what I was talking about earlier, because I know somebody's gonna probably watch this video, be like, "Oh, you said this about black women, black men. They're saying they don't want to cooperate, and well, we don't really have a good selection to cooperate with." That's a lie. 57% of black men are in the middle class or higher. Only 18% of black men are in poverty. You have a selection. You just suck at doing it because you have a unnatural, artificial version of hypergamy where you don't know what you're doing. Social media and all of that, you let it fill your head up and thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna do all this stuff on social. I gotta live this life on social media," but you're an average woman living in an average town somewhere, and you're gonna have average outcomes. And
this the thing for me, bruh, on that whole social media stuff, man. All these women getting on social media thinking they this and they that, and it boosts their heads up, right? But the whole time, all these pictures you putting on there, you got all these filters on there, so you know that you ain't really this, but you putting it out there like so deep into your mind, you know that this ain't the woman that you really are, right? But instead of putting in the work required to become that type of woman, you rather fake it. And then you wonder why your life is so messed up. You wonder why you're sitting there crying to God, asking, "Lord, why won't you just send me somebody?" Because you haven't put in the work. Scripture says that he will add the increase. But if he ain't got nothing to increase, what are you going to put?
Oh, come on now.
And I want to say the same thing to the men. You getting on Facebook, posting your $400 check that you got this week or these 2 weeks. You putting your check on Facebook, your little $500 check that it took you a week or 2 weeks to make, knowing you finna probably go blow it on some woman that don't even want you. She wants the little money you got, and she doing that to you and every other dude that she got on her roster. You ain't taking that money and building it into a business or nothing. You ain't trying to get into no real estate. You ain't even got a car. You biking to work. You ain't trying to get no car. You said telling everybody you gonna get one, but you won't even put $50 back because you gotta have your weed. You gotta have something to drink. That girl needs some shoes. You ain't got no kids by this woman, but you want some shoes, and you finna go get them. You ain't married to this woman. Y'all ain't got nothing other than she throw you a little piece of pussy.
And she don't even throw that half the time.
She ain't even throwing you that. A lot of times she ain't even doing that.
No,
She
ain't even sniffed it. And he, you know what I'm saying? Nah, bro. Like, bro, that's that beta male mentality, bro. That's that beta male mentality, man. I'm telling you guys, man, you need to work on yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. You have to put in the work and get discipline in these areas, because if you don't, what happens to women? They up front, they get their value. Up front, women's value increases as soon as they turn 18. Boom. It's just because they 18, they got titties and booty. All right. As a man, your value automatically determines on what have you built in this society of value to society, whether it be clout, status, money, career, whatever it is. That's what your whole life is predicated on, right? That's what your value is predicated on. But when she turns 18 and you turn 18, it's not of equal value. And this is gonna be hard, guys. I'm gonna tell you something. I gotta tell you something, guys, because I didn't even like this either when I was 18. But this is the truth. Those women don't belong to you. Yes, they're in your age group, but they don't belong to you. They belong to older men. Older men. That's who they belong to. I gotta tell you something, young women. Trying to make it work with Pookie, fresh out of high school, and you graduated, but Pookie dropped out in 11th grade. Trying to make it work with Ray Ray, Lil Ray Ray, who already a 2-time felon, and he ain't number 22. Trying to make it work with your scammer boyfriend, y'all, because y'all been together since 12th grade. I'm gonna tell you something. Those men don't build anything. They lose it all, over and over and over again. They lose it all. And you trying to stick it out with a guy with no potential in what he's doing, just being a loser. That doesn't make you a better woman. I'm not saying you need to jump from man to man to man because you don't like that his potential hasn't blossomed yet. So you jumping man to man to man. Because I'm going to be honest with you. If you're doing that, nobody's taking you seriously. Men are not taking you seriously. You just riding the cock carousel. But properly using your hypergamous instincts to find you a man that provide for you, protect you, and love you, is on you. It's your responsibility, women. It's not the men's. The only person that's responsible other than you is your father. But you don't want to submit to your father, remember? Your mom made sure that. And then you adopted those behaviors and you made sure that. You're not submitting to your father. So guess what? He don't have no authority in your life. You're the authority. And since you want to have all the authority, you have all the responsibility. It is not a man's responsibility. It's not the men of the community responsibility to make sure you choose correctly. To make sure that you're operating in your natural, hypergamous, feminine nature. It's yours. Just like it's men's 100 responsibility to get out here and build what's make you valuable to society, to a woman. It's not on the women to make you valuable. It's up to you. As a man. What are you going to do as a man to make you valuable? What skills are you going to obtain to make yourself valuable in society? What status are you going to chase and obtain to make yourself valuable in society and to women? Because other than that, what you're useless, really. You're making yourself useless.
I want to take it full circle back to our topic on foundation and you know, men just crashing out. And I want to say to you men, before we end it up here, you can tell the type of men that you're around, right? Just listen to what they're talking about. If a man always complains about where he's at, but it's always somebody else's fault, get away from that man. Men, you need to have other men that are like-minded, that want to get somewhere, that want to build something. If that man always complains, if you as a man have another man around you that you consider your friend, and all he says is, oh, well, you know, man, shoot, that girl, she did this, so now I can't do that. Oh, I can't do that. Instead of trying to find solutions, men, we find solutions. If you're around another man, my brother, that sits there and he's not trying to build anything. He's been working the same dead-end job. He's been working that same dead-end job, and you know that he ain't wasting all his money on bills. I ain't saying that if he got a job and he paying his bills and all that. That's the type of person you need to be around, somebody that's going to take care of their responsibilities. But he blowing all his extra money to go buy some dope or so he can get drunk or spending on this woman, that woman, and he ain't never got nothing. Can't put no gas in your tank or nothing. Always bumming off of you, asking you for a couple dollars when you know he working and you know he got more than enough to be able to save, but he ain't saving nothing. That's because he ain't trying to build nothing. Get away from those types of men. Listen to the conversations that other men around you have. If all they do is blame everybody else. See, men, they take accountability for their own actions. Real men take accountability for their own actions. And what they are building, they take full responsibility for what they need to build. They don't put it on somebody else. Stay away from those types of men. And if you are one of those types of men, do better. You are building your foundation on sin. And because you are building your foundation on sin and you have built nothing, you will crash out time and time and time again because you have nothing to stand on.
I think that's a good segue to end on, y'all. I think that's a good segue to end on, man. Just men, we you got to do better. All this crashing out, trying to crash out on for nothing, that having low mounds and just being reactive all the time to try to overcompensate for what you don't have. Don't try to compensate. How about you just go out here and figure out a way to get it?
Yeah.
Use your skills, use your mind to build yourself up and get out here and get it done. Females, cut it. Cut it with the artificial hypergamy. We see right through it. Guys are starting to play Uno stack with just right along with you. And the longer you do that, the more you do that, the more you waste your time, the more you influence your friends to waste their time, the more likely you're going to be single, and soon you're going to be childless. Some of y'all are not even going to have no children. You're going to really be lonely. But men and women are better together. We are better together. And that's it, y'all. This your boy King Darius here, King Darius Direct Podcast, where we get directed to the point. And man, I just want to end it on that note, man. Q, you got anything you want to say on the ending on the note, bruh? Any plug-ins you want that you want to tell the people?
Man, I think we hit it perfectly, man. I got a podcast as well, NRG Podcast. And we're going to be doing some more things over there, man. We're trying to get back into it. And we setting aside some time so that we can actually do a lot more podcasts and get back on this grind out here and get some information out there because it's needed. And this world is so needed nowadays.
Oh, yeah. These conversations are definitely needed, y'all. These conversations are definitely needed.
We're so far away from where we need to be, man. So,
oh, yeah.
That's all I got, man.
Follow your boy at King_Darius_45 on Instagram. That's King_Darius_45 on Instagram. Follow your boy. I be dropping. I'm gonna start dropping on on Instagram too. I will be dropping on Instagram as well. I will drop tomorrow on Instagram around 6 to 8 p.m. Just be looking out. I haven't chosen the time yet, but it's going to be between that time, 6 to 8 p.m. I'm going to drop on Instagram as well. But this, subscribe. If you ain't subscribed to this podcast yet, if you ain't subscribed to my YouTube yet, subscribe right now, man. This your man that don't be one of those people, those guys that be out here not liking videos, not subscribing, all that kind of stuff. All that, man. We don't be hate, man. Your boy on follow me on YouTube. It's the same thing. At King Darius 45. The boy King Darius. You see me on there. There's pretty faces on there. You can recognize me. But follow your boy, subscribe to the podcast. And man, we are out.